start making their own films, want to get into that game. How do you do it? Do you need a mentor? Do you need someone to show you the ropes? You know, what do you need?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, because I read everyone else's Q&As, and everyone's talking about role models, and I think that yes, there are a lot of role models, but I think mentors are much more important than role models, and I think that's just a question of time, because the thing with role models is that they're at a certain distance, so their stories are either edited or sanitized or abbreviated. And I think a mentor is someone, and again, I will go back to this, but I think it can be a man or a woman. I don't think it needs to be a female. It's just someone who has integrity and is honest and has, that you have a trusting relationship with. So I think for me, that's really, really important. And then I would say to anyone starting out, firstly, try and find yourself a mentor. And then the second thing is be kind to yourself, give yourself time. We are a very youth-obsessed, statistically, the youngest this and the biggest that, whatever. It's not the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean.
What I would also add to that is show up. To new filmmakers, what I would say is get yourself in the room, show up to the festival, show up to the screening, show up to the panel. Grace and I actually met at Sundance back in January. It was my first Sundance. I had been stranded in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. My flight was canceled, and Sundance was a 5-hour drive away. The sun had just set. I was going to drive through mountains, so I did. I rented a minivan, and I was maybe crying a little bit because I was so stressed. And I made it to Sundance, and the first night there, I met my mentor. We were sitting at the bar at a hotel, having dinner, and he reached out to me, asked me if I was a film producer, and we started a conversation. And Baus is also watching, but he produced the film that opened the Sundance Film Festival, and now he's mentoring us on our whole journey. And it can be men, it can be women. It's whoever's invested in you, your idea, they must believe in you. And you must show up and follow through. So that would be my advice to beginning filmmakers.
And don't be afraid to ask. That's the thing. Don't be afraid to ask someone to be your mentor, because I love being asked, and I love doing it, and I think we can be a little bit intimidated sometimes, so I would just go for it.
Yeah, I think also a lot of the time success is reported on, and they've won this award and they've done this, and look at their amazing showreel. But for me, I'm more inspired by hearing about the rejection stories, and a lot of I get a lot of people saying, but how do you go as just a person with no contacts up to a Discovery or a Nat Geo or a PBS and say, buy my series, you don't know me, but let's have a meeting at MIP. But I think that you've got to look into the stories of every successful person, and invariably they've had countless rejections, and I know I have, and so many emails. I mean, I must have sent off probably 2,000 emails just trying to get things, make things work, afford everything that I'm trying to do, and you can't let it. You can't tell yourself, okay, well, it's just not meant to be. I think that's the saddest phrase ever, because you can make it work. You just need to say, right, just keep going.
Yeah, I think as an actress, that's one of the best things that prepared me to be a producer. Because as actors, often we say, you got to get 99 no's before you get one yes, 99 auditions before you book that one role. So you even you start celebrating. I didn't get it. Woo! One down, I'm closer. Yeah, and if you bring that attitude to it, you can do the 2,000 emails and not be totally exhausted. And the other thing I will say is life is so busy, and emails are coming at everybody from every direction. Email them again, and email them again. And don't be afraid that you're bugging people. I feel like a lot of people are oh, well, I emailed them once and they didn't email me back. They probably didn't even see it. They probably saw it, put a flag, and then it fell. Yeah. And that happens with me all the time, too. Yeah. So I think definitely reach out. We have to multiple times. It's just where we are.
One more thing I would add around the financing is, for young filmmakers, financing always seems like this big mountain in front of you. We had our Kickstarter campaign. We planned to raise $50,000. We raised $107,000. That got us through production, and it got us starting post. But then we had to start putting out funding, pitch proposals to a number of investors. That number hit 3, that number hit 4, that number hit 5. Within 6 weeks, we had gotten numerous rejections. But the persistence and resilience in that moment is what got us our finishing funds. So you just have to keep going and don't be scared of money. Money is such an integral part of this industry. It's equally as important, if not, no, it is not more important than the creative end. But I would say it's equally as important because it is what's going to help your film speak to the audiences it needs to speak to. So don't be intimidated by money. There's no point.
I'm interested.
Still images, and they can draw on the images and say, okay, we want this change, that change, whatever. So there's the technological side of things as well, which has made things a lot easier, I think.
I would say do what feels right to you, because it will always come off inauthentic if you don't. So, for example, we've built out our team from just Aaron and I. I mean, Aaron started this all back in February last year, but now our team is 10 people. And, you know, they're live tweeting this panel. They're helping me with my promotion of this panel itself, of being here. You know, you'll build your way up. You'll know what feels right to you. If you try to do something that's extremely out of your comfort zone, people will be able to tell, and then it loses its power. So take your time with it. Don't feel like you must do this, you must do that. Play, let yourself have fun with it, and then build that up for yourself. But also don't stay in your comfort zone. If you're using this as an excuse to not do anything at all in self-promotion, that's also not good. So find your balance. Stay in the discomfort.
But I think social media is also, I found really great just for being in contact with other filmmakers, because I'm reporting on like all the trials and nightmares that are involved with making a TV series alone. And I find like I've got like some little teenage filmmaker in Mumbai who's saying, Kylie, I would use this lens, and and then someone else in Toronto is saying, oh amazing, what are you using the slider for? Because I've just posted a photo on Instagram that I'm in the Atlas Mountains, and it's nice because I feel like you've got then that kind of community, and they get you. They're people who believe in. They say, it's tough, Kylie, and we're working on a budget too, and that's sometimes when you've had a really long day shooting or editing, it's really lovely to have that connection with strangers through social media.